Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 4, and today we're going to be doing my review for episode 17. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you're new so you don't miss any DC TV videos later this year. So overall, episode 17 was a mixed bag for me, and I'm going to be straight up. There was some really interesting parts of the episode, but then there was some really boring parts of the episode in my opinion. Obviously this is just my opinion, so you know, don't leave any hate. But today we're going to be going over the whole episode, breaking down the major plot points and giving my thoughts on a lot of the things in the episode. So first off, I want to talk about the Gideon ending scene. So Gideon returns and we get to see Harry, and he's put his thinking cap into the Reverse Flash's system and he's actually juicing it up with dark matter, and that's exactly what Cisco said to not do. So it seems like the more he uses the thinking cap, as we could suspect, the more he's becoming evil. And you know, I don't think he's going to become evil in the strict sense of what evil means, but I think his mind is actually being twisted, because in that scene you can see the exact parallels with Reverse Flash in season 1 and his craziness. Like if you remember back to the Christmas episode when we are first revealed that he's the Reverse Flash, you get to see a very similar scene to this, and he seems to be reflecting on the Reverse Flash character, and he's hesitant at first to actually reactivate Gideon for the first time in over 1,000 days. That Harrison Wells has done that, but he actually goes through with it. So you know, there's the question of, is the thinking cap actually twisting his mind? And it seems to be like there is something definitely going wrong with Harry. But I think that was the most interesting part of the episode in my opinion, that end scene. So tell me what you thought about that. I really enjoyed that last scene. The next thing I want to talk about is the mechanic's realization. So she's been in a loop all this time. She's realizing that she's being manipulated by the Thinker, and the Thinker's been doing this many times, and we found out that this has happened loads and loads of times. So she's in a loop, and so I feel like her character is going to be really crucial in taking down the Thinker. So next episode actually looks really interesting, and it seems to be is going to be a very good episode because we're going into a full-on battle. Team Flash are going to be penetrating into the Thinker's lair, and there's going to be a big battle, and it's going to be more of an interesting episode than this sort of filler, but not filler episode. I don't like saying filler, but a lot of the storyline in this episode was kind of pointless in my opinion. But the main question is, will the mechanic actually betray the Thinker? And I think the answer is yes, she will, once Barry and the team actually find out about the manipulation of her, because right now they think she's totally loyal to him. And obviously she's not when she realizes, but then the Thinker, you know, puts her back in that loop again. So one other thing that I really liked in this episode was Barry's tone, and how he actually realized by the end of the episode that yes, this is how Ralph is and we have to accept that. And I really liked how his tone was very serious, and you know, I'm not a big fan of the humor that they've implanted in season 4. I think it's over the top, and I think a lot of this episode was really too over the top in my opinion. But I felt satisfaction when Barry came to the realization at the end that this is how Ralph actually goes through with, you know, his trauma. And so I thought that was a good part of the episode, and we get to see that vampires actually exist in the Arrowverse, so that's just awesome. And we get a Khaleesi Game of Thrones call out, and so dragons exist on another Earth, and obviously we know that time demons on Legends of Tomorrow, they have dragons of sorts and they exist. So that was just a cool thing that they implanted in the episode. And so obviously Kevin Smith directed this episode. He did a good job. Don't think it was one of his best episodes for sure. I think it was probably one of his least good ones, just due to the fact that his season 2 Flash episode and his season 3 Flash episode were insane. They were really good. I really enjoyed them. So, you know, a bit of a step down, but there was good things and there was bad things. So moving on to the bad things. So in this episode I found Ralph and his humor really dull, and I found it boring, and I just wanted to skip past those bits. And the puns in this episode were completely over the top, and they really annoyed me. And the villain, no, she was really bad. The actress didn't do a good job, and she was just there for comic relief, and her powers were pretty cool, but you know, they were just used for the humor, I think. And I don't think she's 100% necessary to DeVoe's plan and, you know, him taking over those bodies. I think it would be a wise idea if they skip past her, because I don't think the actress was very good. And obviously this is just my opinion, I'm not hating on anyone here. It's just what I thought. So yeah, I didn't really like the Ralph stuff in this episode, apart from that Barry end scene with Ralph that I talked about earlier. And so the Cisco and Breacher stuff was another thing that I didn't really like. You know, I feel like Breacher is sort of a mechanical robot of sorts, considering that every time he comes it seems to be like Danny Trejo is just reading off lines. He's not, you know, making sense as a human being, and I can't seem to grasp onto the fact that he's a real character. I feel like it's just Danny Trejo playing this character, and he's not playing the character too well. And I know he's a really good actor, no hate to him, but I just don't really like his character on the show, if I'm totally honest, and I think he's written a bit poorly, and so he's used for comic relief a lot. And Cisco in this episode, he wasn't used the best that he could have, and also the rest of Team Flash, like Caitlin, was sidelined like hell. I want more Caitlin, I really like Caitlin, and a lot of the other team members were sidelined, and I found that kind of annoying. We didn't even see the new member of Team Flash. I thought that was kind of weird. And so next episode actually does look really promising. So overall this episode was a mixed bag for me, like I mentioned earlier. I had some really good parts in this episode, and then there were some parts that I really wasn't keen on that I've just gone over. So anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.